Welcome to another episode of the Friday Podcast. It's been a long week, my friends. A very, very long week, and I just saw a badass dragonfly. And you know what? I'm gonna just tell you exactly how I'm feeling. I was driving home, and I was sad. And I'm gonna tell you why I was sad. A stupid reason. Because there's this chick I like, and I don't think she likes me back. And that's fine. And that's cool. And it's just, I don't know if it's me or if it's them or if it's the wrong ones. I don't know. But fuck bitches, get money. Just kidding. Love women. Even though I'm not getting the love from the ones that I want love from, or the one, but c'est la vie. I guess it's meant for me to be alone and lonely. Anyways, as I was having these thoughts, I also saw a turtle crossing the road, so I looked up my old video, the clip of turtle symbolism, and gave me a little motivation that if other people's actions are affecting me, then I need to go within and honor myself. And it's not a bad thing to feel, getting rejected and not in a upfront way is still hard to take. Rejection is hard no matter what. It sucks. And that's why I usually never fucking try, because I don't like getting rejected. But I kinda tried and I kinda got rejected. So fuck it. I'm still blessed. Shout out to the 94 subscribers. I can't believe we're getting this close to 100. Shout out to the comments. Shout out to the best hardcore fans that are always commenting. I love it. I'm always reading them, and I like them, and I love them. And it means a lot to me. It really does. Especially on days like today, where I don't feel like I'm getting the love from the places that I want. I get love from the places that I need, maybe. So the love I'm getting from y'all is giving me the love that I would expect from a woman. But it's a different kind of love, but it's a love nonetheless, and I love it. My hair's probably gonna get melty because I got the pomade in it. Anyway, my cousin told me, hey, next time just wear a fucking muscle shirt. I'm like, all right, you right, bro, you right. Shout out to Ed. Anyways, random questions, are we there yet? Fuck it, let's do it. Let's fucking do it. Let's get it done. Let's see, 2 blank pages I opened up today. I think I'm gonna do the one on the right. Is there any one product that has changed your life in a good way? Oh, plenty. My iPhone made it easier for me just to having a smartphone to record and upload. What other device? What other product? X-Clear spray, no spray. It's pretty fucking dope. Helps me a lot. And there's this thing called Olbas that you stick in your nose, Olbas, and it smells like I don't know, clears up your sinuses. That shit is amazing. My son uses it as well. Another product, clothes, hands, I don't know, all the products, man. I love products. Who doesn't love fucking products? I mean, what are they talking about? Smell-proof bags are the best. Laptops are amazing. Products, baby. Get that product. Street product, store product, internet product. It's all good. Is there any experience you've not had that you regret not having yet? Yeah, I kind of regret not learning to dance so I could have one of those like romantic. I also regret not getting into working out, because I would be sexy right now if I enjoyed working out, but instead I'm just a piece of shit. Anyway. I still love myself despite my body looking like pudge. Mayonnaise, one would say. I'm just mayonnaise. Shout out to Shane Gillis. I took that from him. Okay, moving on. Did I ever answer that? Yeah. What is your favorite Broadway show or one you really want to see? I think Godfather's on Broadway, so I'd love to see that. And Peaky Blinders is on Broadway, but Broadway is kind of gay, and that's okay. That's totally okay, but I'm not really into musicals. And I think in Broadway, everything has to be a musical, if I'm not mistaken. What book do you think you should be But I'm not opposed to. They're just not my favorite thing. What book do you think should be mandatory for everyone on the planet to read? The Urantia. I really believe that the Urantia should be read by every person on the planet. What do you think most people take for granted? Oh, life. Ooh, being single. Being in a relationship. Whenever you're in a situation for a long time, you take it for granted. Oftentimes, that's what humans do. At least us flawed ones. There's a lot of intelligent people out there who don't fuck up like I do, or have fucked up like I did. Another product is these incense for insects. Keeps the mosquitoes away. I'm about to light one up because these mosquitoes I already know about to come eat me. I already killed one. What do people take for granted that really bugs you? Ooh, their parents. Because not everybody has them, and everybody that doesn't have them wishes they could have them. Even those that have imperfect parents should appreciate the fact that they even have them. Sorry if you can hear that, that's electricity. I'm trying to light this thing up. It's easy to light up a wick, but alright, there it goes. What do you say? Would you say you are a good or bad influence to others? I would say I used to be. First, I was a good influence. Nah, I was always a bad influence a lot of times, especially when it came to my friends. When I was a kid, I used to try to be a good influence on my parents whenever they were separated and were dating other people. Now I try to be a good influence, but some people would still see me as a negative influence. I just am. I'm just an if you allow yourself to be influenced, that's whatever. But I'm not trying to influence people. I want to help people. But I guess influencing them to be positive. But I've been influenced. Whatever. What is the most beautiful city in the world? The city that I live in, I love it. It's not perfect, but it's beautiful because of the people that are in it. But if we're not going off of the people that are in it, if we're just looking at a city, I guess that I've been to, Honolulu, Hawaii. Just because it's backdrop. It's, you know, where it's at and shit. What's your favorite idiom? Or idiom, I don't know how to say it. I looked it up because I didn't know what it was. But I mean, I knew what they were, but I didn't know that they were called idioms. For example, there's one called, what's the one? 2 heads are better than one. That's why guys are better than chicks. Just kidding. I'm on cloud 9 is an idiom. So those 2 are probably my favorite. Those 2 are the first ones I saw on the thing. If you were going on Shark Tank to pitch an idea, whom would you want to work with? I don't even know what that means. I mean, a friend, a family member, Mark Cuban. We're both from Dallas. Have you made an impact on anyone's life? If so, who? I mean, I would hope I made an impact on my son's life by being his father. And I would hope that I made a positive impact on my family member's life for being in their life. I mean, I'm pretty weird compared to the others. Maybe my sister and my parents. What is your favorite? Oh, I didn't look this up. What's your favorite band beginning with the letter Q? I mean, how many bands start with the letter Q? QAnon. Just kidding. What bad habits do you think kids pick up from the parents? All of them. Well, not all of them. I think it depends on the child, and it depends on the parents, and it depends on the situation. What did I get from my parents? My work ethic, but also my inability to be in a happy, to find somebody and like stay with them or get them to stay with me. I don't know. But certain things kids pick up from the parents, certain things they do not. I forgot to close the door. Bet you a couple flies got in that motherfucker. Kids mostly do what you do and they don't listen to what you say. I don't know who said it. There's a quote that somebody said that kids rarely listen. They almost never listen, but they always copy and emulate what they see. It's interesting. So they can pick up a lot of stuff from their parents. Stealing. Stealing is one. Do you have any cool party tricks? I can get. I used to be able to drink a lot, and there were bad party tricks though. Like, I don't think drinking and driving is a party trick. That's an end of party trick. That no one should ever do, and it's not funny. I don't know why I just laughed at it. What famous person has completely lost your respect? Oh shit. Trey the Truth and Lupe Fiasco. Now Lupe Fiasco, during the COVID pandemic, y'all know how I feel about it. I mean, yes, it existed, yes, it was real, but there was other methods of curing it and preventing it that were natural. Now, this is something that neither side will tell you. This is just Mother Earth's side. The sun, water, exercise, stretching, eating right. I mean, they said it, but why'd I bring that up? Oh, so during that time period, Lupe Fiasco was going on his Instagram and saying that they need to put the vaccine in the water to save people's lives. Now that sounds absurd. That sounds like somebody saying they should put fluoride in the water to clean everybody's teeth. Which they did, and they stopped in my city. Sorry, I just saw that my sandals were out here, and I had little cups of water in the heel, and that's not cool. So what the fuck was I saying? Yeah, and that's a far fall from Lupe, who called Barack Obama a terrorist on a song, and then he kind of stepped back and said, I didn't call him a terrorist, I was just saying what a professor said. But during that presidency there was a lot of drone bombings. Like, that was a big thing. A lot of famous people, man. Cudi, I feel like Cudi sold his soul. Like the way he denounced Kanye and then took a naked picture and took a picture in a dress. It's cool if you want to wear a dress. It's cool if you want to take a naked picture. But when you go against what, it's like the reason for it though. The reason for it, if you study the Boule and the Illuminati and the secret societies, the reason it's all like Dave Chappelle said, people my age remember when Dave Chappelle quit the Chappelle Show and then he went on Oprah, and then on Oprah he said that why would they always make black men wear dresses? It's to immaculate us. No, that's not the right word. I don't know how to say it. Demasculate, right? Something like that. And it's the same shit. So it's okay if you want to, like I'm not mad at Young Thug for wearing a dress because he came up like that. That's him. That's who he is, Lil Nas X. But somebody like Cudi, who was this spiritual dude, and that you could still be spiritual and wear a dress, but he was never that dude. And I know the dress was in honor of Nirvana, but Nirvana had its own issues, and Kurt Cobain probably wanted to get out of the Illuminati after getting into it, realizing what it was, which happens to some. It's like Avicii. You know, he put out that video about human trafficking, and not long after that he passed. And you know, I could go down the list of conspiracy theories, but we're not here for that. Where are we at? 15 minutes. I think we'll stop right there. I'm gonna take a break, drink some water. I'll be right back. So we have returned. All right, so this animal, I've been wanting to do it for a while, cover it, I mean, on my podcast. And it's a pigeon. You know, when you look at a pigeon, most people call them rats with wings. You know, they eat anything, they eat trash, they're dumb. Some people think they're fake. I think they're real. I do believe that. Maybe they have some fake ones that people have found, and now they think that all of them are fake, but I think there was some that were real. Because there was paintings of them. Like after I did my little research on pigeons, synchronicity kicked in, and I saw like this old painting of them. Because pigeons were kept as pets, as we'll soon find out, and they were messengers, and pigeons were pretty important, more so than we realize. Messengers, as in they would carry messages. SonomaBirding.com says that pigeons are symbolic of fertility and prosperity, fortune, luck, and transformation. They're said to be one of the first bird species to be domesticated by humans and have been friends to us since ancient times. These birds are also symbolic of persistence, harmony, and well-being, mercy and forgiveness, and freedom. RichardALois.com, shout out to Richard A. Lois, we always use you. The symbolism associated with the pigeon spirit animal indicates the goodness of a person and his or her, or they, or them, ability to be loving and kind. I added all those. These birds, as unappealing as they are to some, are beautiful spirit animals that may help you find your true life mission and purpose. Pigeonpedia.com says because of their pure white aspect, I guess this is talking about white pigeons, they have been symbols of purity and innocence. Other virtues that they have been used to symbolize are wisdom, knowledge, understanding, counsel, fortitude, and piety. Because they mate for life, doves and pigeons are also associated with marital fidelity. The word dove has also become used as a word of endearment. I don't know what that means. Birdwatchingusa.org says, according to Judaism, pigeons or doves symbolize people or the human spirit as indicated in Hebrew by the word Yonah, which means pigeon. Greek and ancient mythologies, pigeons were associated with the goddess of pleasure, love, beauty, and passion. This is why people belonging to the civilization started linking pigeons with love and purity. I said pigeons. Whatismyspiritanimal.com says pigeons appear in stories as harbingers of peace, faith, and fidelity. They can guide souls safely into the hereafter and carry messages between the realms. Angelicalbalance.com says the pigeon is a symbol of freedom and forgiveness. You will never find the pigeon keeping malice with its fellow pigeon. Freedom is kind of clicking in my head about what I was talking about earlier. I still have my freedom, of course, but I'm talking about the other, like, just there's different levels of freedom. Richard A. Lois again says that the pigeon spirit animal has become a representation of many good things. Their most common interpretation links them to peace, love, and piety. Cornisha, QUORNESHA.com says that pigeons are symbolic, that soon a prophetic word will enter your life, but what you do following it is up to you. You can do as you wish, but that is up to you. Pigeons are also a symbolic for movement, geographically speaking. So know that this change may not necessarily note that you will be making some personal changes, but of awareness, location, ways of doing things. Get rid of obsolete beliefs about anything. You're moving up and cannot be served what is no longer progressing with you. Pigeons are symbolic of revolution and evolution. Shit. All right. Angel number 545. Sunsigns.org. Shout out to the sun. Angel number 545 is a sign for you to begin tapping into the fun and free part of yourself. Man, I didn't do that. Buy a car. Quit your stressful job. I'm not saying this. This is sunsigns.org. Go mountain climbing. Tap into your spontaneous part of your life. The guardian angel's advice that you have fun while doing this, as you always exercise respect for yourself and those around you. The secret of the tarot.com says that 545 asks you to use your thoughts and ideas to make this possible. You need to take the necessary measures to align your life with your purpose in this world. Your angels want you to fully appreciate your soul mission. This angelic sign reminds you of the importance of faith, trust in your own abilities. Mindfulnessandjustice.org says that angel number 545 is a sign from your guardian angel that you must relax and take time away from stressful situations. Your angels want to encourage you to make more friends, which is so hard to do. OAPublishingLondon.com says that 545 predicts that if you and your twin flame are currently apart, there will be chances for you to get back together soon. 545 is social, as we have already explained. Apparently earlier I just got the angel number 545 advises you to have some flexibility in your life when it comes to your business and professional life. I hear that. Individualogist.com says that 545 is a sign to strike the balance between spontaneity and structure. The order goes like this: storm before sunshine, waves before the shore. To achieve stability, you need to go out of your comfort zone first and experience everything there is. That's what I'm doing with my shirt off. I'm going out of my comfort zone. Once you find out what works for you, go at it. AboutSpiritual.com says that 545 appears to you to let you know that you should be the change for the world to change. Stop making the same mistakes. And this one hit me last night because that's when I kind of figured out that she wasn't really feeling me the way I was feeling her. If you continually repeat the same mistakes, you're not learning anything and it's hard to achieve your goals that way. MindYourBodySoul.com 545 angel number is encouraging you to remain optimistic when changes are in progress. Having positive thoughts and feelings will find positivity in everything, and positive results will begin to manifest. Though you are facing many problems now, things will become positive, and great results are awaiting you in the long run. Man, that's probably why my ankle hurts today. Because yesterday I was running in place while reading the Bible in the mud. And I probably didn't step right or something, because today, man, I had still kind of sore in my foot. All right. Anxiety news with your host, Christopher Chaos. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. From today.com. Just being near water can help boost mental health, even virtually. There are science-backed reasons why water helps you unwind. Simply being in nature may be one of the best and most accessible ways to boost your mental health, and being around water has particular benefits, research shows. If you are in a body of water, your internal state just becomes calm. Dr. Natalie Azar, NBC News medical contributor, said on the third hour of Today. It's something that I think we've all experienced, but we've never really been intentional about. Being near water boosts mental health. Being in or near water can provide benefits for mental well-being in a few different ways. It creates a sense of awe. Being around water gives us a sense of something greater than ourselves, Azar explained, and it expands your mind a little. It provides soothing sensory experiences. The sound, smell, and sight of a body of water can be very soothing, Azar said. And if it reminds you of something familiar, like the salty sea air you remember from childhood, that can also bring on a calming, positive state of mind. God forbid you were on a boat and like your parents died or something, and when you smell the ocean, you freak out. You know, that's obviously it's not going to be the same. I assume it facilitates mindfulness and reflection. Water is dynamic, it has different colors, it's moving, and so your attention is on that rather than all the noise out there, Azar said. Also, floating allows your body to rest and it holds our attention. Recent research studies suggest there really are benefits to being near water, or what an experts call blue spaces. But the sky is blue. For instance, a study, which I think it helps too, being under the blue sky. And that's why I came outside even though it's sunny, because I've been inside all day in a white room with white lights, and it was just... For instance, a study published in July in Scientific Reports found that people who live near blue spaces had lower risk for mental health issues. And in another study published last year in the same journal, researchers surveyed people in 18 countries. The results showed that those who visited blue spaces more frequently also reported less mental distress and better overall being. Being in nature isn't a substitute for therapy or medication, of course, but it can be a surprisingly effective way to feel calmer. You don't even need to be physically there to get the benefits. If you're in an area that doesn't have a natural body of water around, that's okay. Urban water counts, Azar says, and that includes rivers, canals, and fountains, as well as pools and bathtubs. But if getting to a body of water is a challenge, know that you can get some of the benefits from just listening to or watching videos of water. You only need maybe up to 2 hours a week, she explained. So a couple of minutes every day, these fucking flies, of that exposure can make a real difference. Now, some say we came from the water, and maybe there's a sense of home. Technically, if you think about as babies, we are in water, but I mean far back in our possible evolution. All right, so this series review, I don't know why I didn't think of it sooner. I don't know why I'm barely doing it, but I'm doing it. Obi-Wan Kenobi. Sorry. So I wrote this review. This show is nostalgic, badass, heartwarming, funny, intense, and super interesting. The connection to the prequels connects dots and adds extra to the lore, like a sort of Dead Sea Scrolls. The new characters are cool. I like the character of the Padawan who faked her death and began working for Vader to get revenge. Their fight was amazing. Seeing Vader's powers with current technology CGI make it feel realer than ever and more astonishing, given more shine on the capabilities of Anakin, aka Darth Vader. The struggle that Obi-Wan felt is one many of us have felt when we feel defeated and alone. I was sad when I wrote this yesterday. Even at low points, people in our life give us meaning. Often our kids give us hope for the future. The same was for Obi-Wan when he was rescuing Leia as a kid. Losing even more people further solidified why Obi-Wan had to separate himself from others for many years. Seeing the perspective and persecution of the Jedis is another interesting aspect of the series that the movies don't explore into as much. I mean, they do, but now they actually show it, the tunnels, the secrecy, all that after Order 66. Anakin / Vader will give you goosebumps after he's defeated by Obi-Wan and screams. Or right before, when he says that he was the one that killed Anakin, not Obi-Wan. It gave closure to their relationship that was missing after Episode 3. Also, the fact that he thought he died in Episode 3 was a cool aspect. I love this show. It was great for someone who was a kid when Episode 3 came out and used to watch it all the time on DVD. 5 stars, baby. All right, one more descanso, and we'll be right back to wrap this bitch up. Well, yippee-ki-yay, mother. Just kidding. Badass Woman of History. Let's do this the right way. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da. Wait, I did it wrong. Badass Women in History. Another Western Frontiers Woman. Esther Hobart Morris. Born August 8th, 1812. Passed April 2nd, 1902. Now this is fake, okay? This is fucking fake, guys, all right? Just like your mom. Just kidding. All right, continuing on. Was the first woman justice of the peace. The first woman justice of the peace in the United States of America. Cock-a-doodle-doo. All right, continuing. So I just drank some energy drink, filled up on water. You know what I'm saying? Getting at it. All right, let's wrap this up. She began her tenure as justice in South Pass City, Wyoming on February 14th, 1870, serving a term of nearly 9 months. The Sweetwater County Board of County Commissioners appointed Morris as Justice of the Peace after the previous Justice, R.S. Barr, resigned in protest of Wyoming Territory's passage of the Women's Suffrage Amendment in December of 1869, 100 years before my mama was born. Let me say that again in regular talk. So the Sweetwater County Board of County Commissioners appointed Morris as Justice of the Peace after the previous Justice, R.S. Barr, I'm starting to get into that country, not on purpose, resigned in protest of Wyoming Territory's passage of the Women's Suffrage Amendment in December of 1869. Popular stories and historical accounts, as well as by state and federal public monuments, point to Morris as a leader in the passage of Wyoming's Women's Suffrage Amendment. However, Morris's leadership role in the legislation is disputed. Morris herself never claimed any credit, ascribing the bill entirely to William H. Bright, who was member of the territorial legislature from South Pass City and the president of the Territorial Council. Now, I suspect that she told him to take credit, because if she took credit, it would make it illegitimate in most of the states, because if Wyoming had just passed it, that means that every state has to pass the women's suffrage bill or whatever it was, and that means it wasn't in every state. So if she did it, it would be harder, it would have less credibility in those times, in that time period in certain states. That's what I think. I think she actually did it, and I think she had him take credit. All right, so her early life. Esther Hobart McQuigg was born in the village of Spencer, Tioga County, New York, on 8th of August, 1812. It has been incorrectly reported she was orphaned at an early age. She actually grew up in a large family. Her mother passed away when Esther was 14, but she continued to live with her father, grandmother, and siblings until age 21. Esther then moved to the town of Owego and set up a millinery business. Esther married Artemus Slack. Imagine having a name like that. An engineer for the railroad in 1841. In May 1843, just short of her 31st birthday, her husband died. Angry with the New York laws prohibiting women from owning property, Esther moved to Illinois, where her late husband had acquired property. In 1846, Esther Slack married John Morris in Ottawa, Illinois. They subsequently settled in Peru, Illinois, where she gave birth to a son, John, in 1849, and twins, Robert and Edward, in 1851. Can you imagine having twins in 1851? Young John died as a toddler, of course, because a lot of kids died as toddlers. In 1868, Esther's husband, John, and her son, Archibald Archie, joined the throngs moving to South Pass City. I want to go back. a lot of kids died. Not most or anything like that, but a lot of kids died, and so did women during childbirth. Because until modern time, childbirth was like, yes, it was natural, but it's also risky business. They purchased mines and worked at various jobs, making a place for Esther and the twins. In 1869, Morris and her two 18-year-old twin sons, Robert and Edward, ventured west to rejoin the rest of their family. They first traveled by train, choo-choo, to a way station on the newly completed Transcontinental Railroad. That's the sound you would hear when they were, I've been working on the railroad. Sorry. I'm having too much fun, guys. Let's see. I could totally be like a Blippy for grown-ups. Hi, guys. Welcome to my backyard. I'm just kidding. Now, Bryan, 15 miles from present day. So let me go back. Let me redo the sentence. They first traveled by train to a way station on the newly completed Transcontinental Railroad. Shout out to the last episode. At Bryan, 15 miles from present-day Green River. From there, Morris and her boys continued north by stagecoach. They crossed the sand dunes before ascending a gradual mountain pass to the Sweetwater Mining District. The dry, rocky landscape that confronted 55-year-old Morris as she stepped off the stagecoach at South Pass City appeared startlingly different from the fertile landscape she had known in Illinois and New York. Instead, her new home at 7,500 feet in elevation meant scratching out a living in a barren gulch at the mouth of canyon near the Continental Divide. The Morrises settled into a 24-foot by 26-foot log cabin with a sod roof that Esther's oldest son had purchased. Winters were brutal. South Pass area residents, whose population swelled to nearly 4,000 residents, according to one estimate, either left the camp for the winter or faced extreme isolation during the long winters. On Hell on Wheels, I forgot one of those seasons, it starts off in the winter, and you see like not everybody survives the winter because there's no heater, so the winter's a fucking risky business. Where did I leave off? Both John Morris and Archie purchased interest in mining properties soon after their arrival, including the Mountain Jack, Grand Turk, Golden State, and Nellie Morgan Lodes, according to historian Michael A. Massey. Initially, prospects looked good in the midst of the gold rush. Oh shit, that's why I wore it. I just put it on because I thought it was gonna look funny and cool, but it was the gold rush. We found gold, yahoo! All right, sorry. Where the mines and adjoining businesses of South Pass City spurred employment for 2,000 workers in the midst of the gold rush during 1868 and 1869, according to a Stanford University study. But then came the bust. By 1870, most miners had left, leaving as few as 460 residents. By 1875, fewer than 100 remained. Esther Morris had hardly settled in her new home in South Pass City when District Court Judge John W. Kingman appointed her as Justice of the Peace in 1870. It took some prodding, but Morris subsequently completed an application for the post and submitted a required $500 bond. The Sweetwater County Board of Commissioners, in a vote of 2-1, approved her application on Valentine's Day, 1870. Subsequently, the county clerk telegraphed a press release announcing the historic event of the first woman Justice of the Peace. The Wyoming Territory's enfranchisement of women vote So in Hell on Wheels, they also talk about how Wyoming was named because at first it was gonna be the name of the guy who owned one of the railroads. The Wyoming Territory's enfranchisement of women to vote in 1869 made Morris's unprecedented appointment possible. The Clerk's telegraph to the world in part read, Wyoming, the youngest and one of the richest territories in the United States, gave equal rights to women in actions as well as words. Morris's momentous appointment followed the resignation of Justice R.S. Barr, who quit, it's the Barr, baby, who quit in protest of the territorial legislature's passage of the Women's Suffrage Amendment in December of 1869. However, according to author Lynn Cheney, writing in American Heritage, the county board appointed Morris to complete the term of Judge J.W. Stillman. Her appointment was challenged, but ultimately her tenure was upheld. I don't know what that means. Who the fuck is Judge J.W. Stillman? Why did they just throw him in there? Whoa, Morris began her tenure as justice in South Pass City in 1870 by arresting Stillman, who refused to hand over his court docket. Ultimately, Morris dismissed her own case with the ruling that she, as an interested party, did not have the authority to arrest Stillman, according to author Lynn Cheney. Morris began anew with her own docket, holding court sitting on a wood slab in the living room of her log cabin. Cheney notes, when the lawyers who appeared in her court tried to embarrass her with legal terms and technicalities, she admitted her lack of training but was quick to let them know just whose court they were in. One of the lawyers who practiced before her recalled that to pettifoggers, she showed no mercy. I wonder what the fuck a pettifogger is. I'm some bullshitters. 3-day weekend. My sister just texted me, my mom. Morris looked to her sons for support in the courtroom. She appointed Archibald as district clerk and Robert as a part-time deputy clerk with the task of keeping court records and drawing up arrest warrants. Her husband John's support was not so forthcoming. John actively opposed his wife's appointment and reportedly made such a scene, oh man, in her court that Esther had him jailed. That's hilarious. Judge Morris ruled on 27 cases during her more than 8 months in office, including 9 criminal cases. None were overturned according to records at the Wyoming State Archives. Although a few cases were appealed but upheld by the appellate court, she held her Justice of the Peace post until the term that she had been appointed to fill expired on December 6, 1870. Morris sought re-election but failed to muster a nomination from either the Republican or Wyoming parties. Morris's historic judgeship gathered favorable review among the completion of her term in the South Pass News, as her son Archie was the editor. However, the historical record reveals little fanfare in the remainder of Wyoming's press. The Wyoming Tribune, published in Cheyenne, that's where a lot of Hell on Wheels takes place, did note the comments of Territorial Secretary Lee. The people of Sweetwater County had not the good sense and judgment to nominate and elect her for the ensuing term. Wow. Well, after her term in office was over, she had him arrested for assault and battery, according to American Heritage magazine. Men outnumbered women 4-1 in the mountain community where she lived. As a working mother, she held court over a camp of miners, gamblers, speculators, business owners, prostitutes, and rounders. The worst of the worst. Wild, wild west. Troubles continued to mount for the family. In 1871, fire struck from the South Pass City newspaper office, owned and operated by Esther Morris's son, Archibald Slack, forcing him and his wife Sarah to move to Laramie. They go to Laramie too. Oh shit. 20% battery remaining. They go to Laramie, which is also in the show, in Albany County, shortly after her son's departure and particularly bad winter in 71 to 72 of 1800. Morris left her husband and the camp. Morris traveled to Laramie, where she briefly lived with her son Archie. However, the former judge remained unsettled. She moved to Albany, New York, then to Springfield, Illinois, where she spent her winters, according to Massey. Summers saw her return to Wyoming, where she spent time with her sons. Morris's wandering ended in the 1880s when she returned to Cheyenne to live with her son, Roberto. That is Robert. Morris had been but one of many in a long history of residents who saddled up and called it quits in South Pass City. Short-lived gold strikes in the 1880s, 1890s, and 1930s once again lured miners back to the mountains seeking their fortunes. Life after the mines. After Wyoming's enactment of women's suffrage in 1869, the territory's appointment of Morris as the first woman justice of the peace in the U.S. in 1870, and the first woman to hold judicial office in the modern world, drew widespread national attention. First woman to hold judicial office in the modern world. Morris's involvement in women's causes also continued after she left the gold mines and South Pass City. In February of 1872, she participated in the American Women's Suffrage Association convention in San Francisco. August 1873, she was nominated by the Women's Party of Wyoming as a candidate to the Wyoming Territorial Legislature, a nomination that Morris declined. 1876, she served as vice president in the National American Women's Suffrage Association. In July of that year, addressed the National Suffrage Convention in Philly. July 1890, presented the new Wyoming state flag to Governor Warren during the Wyoming statehood celebration. That's dope. 1896, attended as a delegate to the Republican National Convention in St. Louis, Missouri, which nominated the William McKinley Garrett A. Hobart ticket. She was not related to Vice President Hobart, who died in office in 1899. Death and legacy. Esther Hobart Morris died in Cheyenne on April 2nd, 1902, at age 87. She is interred at Lakeview Cemetery in Cheyenne, where a simple stone monument adorned only with her name marks her grave site. Since 1960, a statue of her sculpted by Evard Fairbanks has been one of Wyoming's 2 statues in the National Statuary Hall collection in the U.S. Capitol. Another statue stands at the Wyoming State Capitol. In 2018, the New York Times wrote a belated obituary for her. Whoa. Evidence suggests that the public records celebrating Morris's role as a suffrage leader, solid fabrication, reports of service where she was said to have hosted a momentous Tea Party, are not supported by any contemporary accounts and only appear 50 years after the fact. For many years, Esther Hobart Morris has been this is all from Wikipedia, by the way. She's been celebrated as the mother of women's suffrage. The legislation had been written a year before she became a Justice of the Peace by Civil War veteran and South Pass City resident William H. Bright. Hey, but he needed her. They needed each other to make it happen, Captain. Let's see. Some modern day researchers have suggested that Morris's oldest son, who became editor of a Cheyenne newspaper, may have played a role in the origins of the story of his mother's role. Critics say that he concocted it. Other research leads to Morris's friend Melville C. Brown, who was president of the 1889 Constitutional Convention in Cheyenne, who claimed that she had presented the suffrage bill to the legislature. Morris's son, Archie Slack, followed suit and subsequently referred to his mother in the Cheyenne newspaper as the mother of suffrage. The Tea Party story might have faded quietly were it not for H.G. Nickerson, who had discovered and opened the bullion mine in 1868, later served as a territorial legislator for Lander. He wrote a published letter on February 14, 1919, in Wyoming State Journal, in which he recounted the Tea Party and his attendance as a legislative candidate, some 50 years after the event had taken place. In a tip of the hat honoring Morris, Nickerson wrote, "To Mrs. Esther Morris is due the credit and honor of advocating and originating women's suffrage in the United States." Nickerson's story gained widespread prominence after his friend, Wyoming historian Grace Raymond Hebard, published the account in a 1920 pamphlet entitled How Women's Suffrage Came to Wyoming, 1869. The pamphlet eventually became so widely distributed that the students throughout the state's public schools read the story memorializing Morris's suffrage feats. Hebard spent many years advancing the claim, promoting Morris as an instigator and co-author of Wyoming suffrage legislation. It's pretty cool of him, I think. I mean, because I don't think William Bright cares about credit. So to give women credit, it just adds to the lore and the legend, and I don't see it as a bad thing. But haters gonna hate. In 1960, Wyoming further celebrated Morris as a key impetus impetus, I don't know what that word is. Key component, I'm going to just use the word component, of Wyoming suffrage by donating a life-size bronze statue of her to the National Statuary Hall collection in the rotunda of the U.S. Capitol in Washington, D.C. Officiating the Statuary Hall ceremony were Vice President Richard M. Nixon and Richard Arnold Mullins, the president at the time of the Wyoming State Society. In 1963, Wyoming officials placed a replica of the same 9-foot sculpture at the State Capitol building in Cheyenne. I would like to go to Cheyenne one day. An inscription thereon hails Morris as the mother of women's suffrage. In 2006, the National Cowgirl Museum and Hall of Fame in Fort Worth, Texas, inducted Morris as a suffrage pathbreaker. The Cowgirl Hall of Fame claims that her influential efforts made it possible for women to vote in the Wyoming Territory in 1869. In 1960, the actress Bethel Leslie played Morris in an episode of the syndicated television anthology series Death Valley Days. In 73 of 1900, she was inducted into the Hall of Great Westerners of the National Cowboy and Western Heritage Museum. My friends, we have done it once again. Thank you for coming to the Friday podcast. It's going to be very hard for me to spit a flow right now, but I can try. Ain't no denial. It's the revival and the survival of the vital flow called hip hop. What do you know, man? Most haters go flip flop in the can like the garbage. Call them Oscar the Grouch. All they do is sleep on their mama's couch. And of course, they ain't got no money in the pouch. Ouch. I keep on going forward, even when I'm slipping and falling. I keep on moving forward, even when I'm tripping and crawling. I move forward up into the atmosphere. I'm out of here with no fear. Because God shows me the way, the method, the progress, no stressing. And even when I do, I just try to remind myself, I got my mind in health. I got my family in wealth. I'm doing okay for myself. Thank God for everybody in my life. Thank God for the world. Thank God for holding it down for the world. I know some of us are struggling right now, but it's gonna get better. I love y'all.